Hello everyone, Jonathan Schlack, EAS&Weather here, with a severe weather update for the Day 1 Outlook. We have multiple areas for severe weather today. First off, we have a margin risk down here that encompasses southwestern Florida, which is in association with potential tropical cyclone number 4, which will likely become Tropical Storm Debbie. Going up here, we have a slight risk for severe weather today that covers far northeastern South Carolina, central North Carolina, parts of eastern Virginia, Washington, D.C., central and eastern Maryland, most of Delaware, southwestern New Jersey, and southeast Pennsylvania. My areas are on the cusp of the slight risk today. We have a margin risk for severe weather today that covers southwestern Massachusetts, most of Connecticut, southeastern New York State, which includes New York City and Long Island, most New Jersey, eastern Pennsylvania, northwestern and far southeastern Maryland, far southeastern Delaware, the eastern part of the West Virginia Panhandle, parts of central and far southeastern Virginia, western and eastern North Carolina, most of South Carolina, and east central Georgia. Going up here, we have a slight risk for severe weather today that covers far southeastern North Dakota, east central South Dakota, far northwestern Iowa, and west central and southwestern Minnesota. And we have a margin that covers far southeastern North Dakota, central and southeastern South Dakota, far northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, parts of Minnesota, and west central Wisconsin. And we have a margin down here that covers southeastern Colorado, southwestern Kansas, the Panhandle of Oklahoma, northwestern Texas, and northeastern New Mexico. Going to the tornado threat for today, we have a 2% chance of an isolated tornado today that covers southwestern Florida, and again, that is in association with what will likely become Tropical Storm Debbie. Now going to the wind threat for today, we have a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. That covers parts of southeast Pennsylvania, which includes my area. Well, my area is on the cusp of the 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. And that also covers southwestern New Jersey, most of Delaware, parts of central and eastern Maryland, Washington, D.C., eastern Virginia, central North Carolina, and far northeastern South Carolina. And there is a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today that covers southwestern Massachusetts, most of Connecticut, southeastern New York State, which includes New York City and Long Island, eastern Pennsylvania, most New Jersey, far southeastern Delaware, northwestern and far southeastern Maryland, the eastern part of the West Virginia Panhandle, parts of western and far southeastern Virginia, as well as western and east North Carolina, most of South Carolina, and east central Georgia. Going up here with a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. That covers far southeastern North Dakota, eastern South Dakota, far northwestern Iowa, and west central and southwestern Minnesota. We have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. That covers far southeastern North Dakota, central and southeastern South Dakota, far northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, parts of Minnesota, and west central Wisconsin. Coming down here with a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher today. That covers southeastern Colorado, southwestern Kansas, the Panhandle of Oklahoma, northwestern Texas, and northeastern New Mexico. Now going to the hail threat for today, we have a 15% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today. That covers far southeastern North Dakota, northeastern South Dakota, and west central and southwestern Minnesota. And now if you look at the black dashed area encompasses far southeastern North Dakota, northeastern South Dakota, and west central Minnesota. The black dashed areas where we have a 10% chance of seeing hail of 2 inches in diameter or larger. So, and there's a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger today. That covers far southeastern North Dakota, central and southeastern South Dakota, far northeastern Nebraska, northwestern Iowa, parts of Minnesota, and west central Wisconsin. There's a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger down here. Excuse me. 5% chance of seeing hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger down here that encompasses southeastern Colorado, southwestern Kansas, the Panhandle of Oklahoma, northwestern Texas, and northeastern New Mexico. So, going to the summary, scattered severe storms are most likely this afternoon and evening from eastern South Dakota into Minnesota, with damaging winds and hail possible. Scattered thunderstorms producing damaging gusts are also expected across parts of the North Carolina Piedmont into the mid-Atlantic vicinity. A developing tropical cyclone may also impact the Florida Keys and western Florida Panhandle. Meanwhile, isolated storms are possible across the southern high plains. So, that's the Day 1 outlook. I'm going to have a separate video on the Day 2 outlook, which will come out very soon. So, stay tuned for the Day 2 outlook, which will come out very soon.